Hi, I am Emily Miller, living in Fort Myers, Florida, and I wanted to reach out to you, the people I am most connected to via my community online and where I work, live, and play. And I want to bring you this message of hope and encouragement during these challenging times. We are all in this together, and I want to share with you some ideas that I believe will allow you to become stronger. As some of you may know, I am a Ziglar Choose to Win coach, and I believe that our thinking and our attitude is more important than ever before. And I've asked Tom Ziglar, the CEO of Zig Ziglar, to share with you a couple of concepts that will really benefit you. Welcome, Tom.
Emily, thank you so much. I mean, isn't it awesome that you're in Florida, I'm in Dallas, and we're reaching out to your friends who I bet are all over the world?
Yes, they are. All the way back in England where I was born and raised, and then on my travels and adventures down under in New Zealand, Australia, and all over the world.
That's right. Well, it is you know what, the whole world is in this together. And what we're talking about right now is we've got a challenging time in front of us. We've got this virus that's impacting us all. I mean, I've seen so many great news reports of communities pulling together. But what I've done is I've taken a short message of the right mindset that all of us can have as we go through and what I call grow through this time together. So what I would like to do is just share a quick presentation with everybody, and then we'll talk in just a few minutes. And what is the mindset that I'm talking about? It is what I call the stronger mindset, a victory mindset during the toughest times. Because the reality is, it is tough out there and there are uncertainties. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen next week or next month, but we do know that we're all in it together. And so if I'm going to have a stronger mindset, what is my view? How should I approach the things going on? Well, my father was Zig Ziglar, and he was a motivational speaker and author, wrote 45 books, probably an icon, probably in the success and personal development world, maybe one of the most influential people to ever take the stage. And I was thinking, if Dad were here, what would he say? What would be his quote that he would give the world? And then I found this quote of his, and this is what I think is kind of the stronger approach. Expect the best, prepare for the worst, maximize what comes. Now, let's break this down. So what does expect the best mean? It means this. It means that as we go through the day, as we talk to our family and our friends, as we figure out how to manage work, because things are a little different, you know, some of you are working at home. We've got to expect the best in every interaction. We've got to expect the best in people from our family. We've got to look at the positives. We know that we're growing through this time together. Why is this so important? Well, medical science tells us that if we have an outgoing positive attitude, if we have an attitude and a spirit of peace and gratefulness, if we are optimistic in what's going to happen, that lifts our spirits. And it also is contagious in a positive way, and it lifts the spirits of those that we talk to. And when we lift the spirits, it lifts our immune system. And I have to tell you right now, it's more important than ever to have a strong immune system. I believe that you potentially can impact somebody's spirit in a positive way. That's going to lift their immunity. And maybe, just maybe, that's the difference between them having an inconvenience with this virus versus a big medical challenge. Number two on here is we got to prepare for the worst. Well, wait a second. How can we have this great attitude and prepare for the worst? Well, let me tell you, it takes a little bit of practice, but it makes total sense. Here's what I mean. What does prepare for the worst mean right now? It means we got to wash our hands like 20 times a day. We got to use technology and social media more than ever to reach out to those that we love, because we've got to practice that social distancing, which I would rather call physical distancing than social distancing, because we can get closer than we've ever been through phone calls and text and FaceTime and all these tools. We've got to make sure that we have supplies at home to take care of those that we love. We've got to plan in the future for our business and the things that we want to accomplish. Yeah, when we prepare for the worst, then it allows us to have a little bit of comfort, a little bit of margin in our life. And then finally, maximize what comes. You know, Dad said this: success is the maximum utilization of the abilities that God gave you. And so we don't know what tomorrow holds, but this is what we do know. People are going to come to us in need. Maybe they need a word of encouragement. Maximize that. Let them know you love them and care about them. You know, maybe you have a business that solves problems and the problems are growing right now. And so somebody comes to you and they need you to solve the problem. Maximize that. Give them a little bit extra. Do whatever you can, because here's the reality. We have a lot of tools, a lot of resources, a lot of relationship skills that we can use in this time to lift others. Now, here's something else about these 3 lines: expect the worst, expect the best, prepare for the worst, and maximize what comes. There is no downside to this. As we grow through this, you are going to be positioned perfectly to serve others, to do well, to go to that next level. A few months ago, end of last year, this definition came to me. I was thinking about legacy. I've really been focused on legacy now in the last 10 years since Dad passed away 7 years ago, and we think about the difference that we make. Legacy is intentionally preparing those you love to grow through life's most difficult challenges. This, I believe, is the opportunity that we all have. I want you to think about this statement. In the United States and really all over the world, you hear this statement, the greatest generation. And in the US, they talk about the greatest generation was the men and women who fought World War II. Our parents and grandparents, depending on how old you are listening to this, they fought World War II. In the US, we went into the war, we were outgunned, we didn't have the experience, our production wasn't ready, and yet we won. We came together. And then they came home, and the greatest economic boom in the history of civilization happened from these same men and women. And yet I want to share this with you. Andy Andrews, an author and a speaker, a really good friend of mine, he said this. He said, the greatest generation wasn't those who fought World War II. It was their parents. So I want you to think about this. You know, the parents raised that generation in the heart of the Great Depression. You see, they came out of farms and they came out of areas that didn't have much. In fact, they really didn't have anything except for one thing. They had each other. And so I believe right now, in a time just like this, perhaps what we're doing is we're raising the greatest generation our world has ever had. What do I mean by that? Well, when we have the stronger mindset, when we expect the best, prepare for the worst, and maximize what comes, when we offer that hope and encouragement, when we stand tall in the furnace to those we love, we set that example, and they understand that you know what? Happiness, it's not stuff. Happiness is purpose. And we have a purpose right now bigger than we've ever had. And so I want to share with you a concept that I got out of the book, Antifragile by Nassim Taleb. It's a great book if you want some, you know, we've all got a little bit of extra time, and this is the stronger mindset. We want to be anti-fragile. We want to be what I call stronger. So what is the opposite of anti-fragile? It's fragile. It's weak. It's easily broken. It's the opposite of stronger. Nobody wants that. But when you ask people, okay, so what is the opposite of fragile? They'll usually say things like strong, resilient, robust, persistent, gritty. Those are all great words, but it doesn't go far enough. You see, all of those things may mean that we can withstand a trial, okay? But anti-fragile is a little different. Anti-fragile, anti-fragility means that we actually get stronger because of the trial. Think about it. When we look at ourselves, we understand that in order to build muscle, we lift weights, we tear those muscles down and they come back stronger. If we want to make our bones strong, we've got to put tension and pressure on our bones to make them stronger. Yet we were created for a time such as this. Why? Because there's a lot of purification, there's a lot of strength building that comes in the furnace. And that's what we're in right now. But if we know that we're going through it and everything that comes against us makes us stronger, and that means that when we come out of it, we are perfectly positioned. And then for those of you who have faith, I'm a believer, I'm a Christ follower. It's spiritual as well. I was thinking about this, and then my dad's life verse came in, Romans 8:28. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good. Think about that. We're going through this tough time, and yet the Creator is saying He's going to work it together for good. And then I think of my own life verse, which is James 1, 2, and 3. Before I read it, every time I see it, I kind of smile because I picked this life verse when I was 12 years old. I'd never had a trial in my life. I mean, for me, a trial was going to the cafeteria, Luby's cafeteria, and deciding which dessert to pick. I mean, that was how hard it was. And yet, I picked this verse. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. When you combine those two scriptures together, hey, we have hope, right? All things are going to work together for good. And we're going to be stronger when we come out of it, because the testing of our faith, that's what happens. And that is the anti-fragile. And then I look at a different version. I love to go in and just kind of poke around, and it says this, you know that under pressure, your faith life is focused into the open. People are going to see you as you grow through this challenge. And we all feel like the tests and challenges are coming from all sides. John 16:33 says, I've told you these things so that you may have peace. And here's a promise. You will have trouble. Guess what? We're in the middle of trouble, but He has overcome the world. You are meant for a time such as this. You've got to put the right stuff in. You've got to take action on these things. Most of all, those you love, they're counting on you. You're in this together. And Emily, I'm so grateful that you are reaching out to those that that you care about, your friends, the people you've done business with in the past, and you are one of our Choose to Win coaches. You're ready and equipped to help people. Can you just let everybody know how would they get in touch with you? How would they find out more? Because I know people are struggling, and we're in this together. So how would they reach out to you?
Thank you, Tom. Yes, people can get in touch with me. If you live in the States, then the phone number to call is 239-771-0555. That's 239-771-0555. Or if you're elsewhere in the world and you want to just email me.
All right, Emily. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. The world needs a positive message now, and
Yes.
You're doing your part. And if you're listening to this and you could be at either end of the spectrum, you could be thinking, oh my goodness, this is a clean slate. Everything's wide open and I can do whatever I want to do. And you're trying to figure out what your next step is. Give Emily a call. Or maybe you're in the thick of it and you're just knee deep in alligators, as we say in Florida, right?
Right. Yes.
And you want a little hope and encouragement, reach out. Well, that's all I have, Emily. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before we hang up?
Just thank you so much, Tom, for all that you and the Ziglar family do, because thanks to Choose to Win, people can create that right mindset. And I am here to help and serve others, to be that voice of hope and encouragement. And I sincerely hope that people will reach out and get on a call with me so I can help you get that clarity or help you prepare and take action.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and give Emily a call. Bye,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.